And on America's Forum, Diana, you just heard from the president. How would you evaluate what he had to say? Is he talking about sound policy, or is this more of a blatant political pitch?
It's a blatant political pitch because American women right now have the majority of people who are graduating from high school, from college. Did you know that 58% of the BAs and MAs are awarded go to women, and over half of PhD degrees, and more high school diplomas, more associate's degrees? It's men we should be worried about, not women.
Well, let's talk about, you just mentioned those statistics in higher education. What about the salary issue? Diana, does there remain a high discrepancy between what men earn in the workplace and what women pull down in terms of salary?
Well, if you look at single women aged between, say, 35 and 45 without children, they earn more than men do. So again, we should be worried about the men. If you look at overall earnings, you average full-time men and full-time women. Yes, you get the result that women make about 82 cents on the man's dollar. Not, by the way, 77 cents, as the president keeps saying. But although 77 cents sounds better from his political perspective. But the reason is that that's because women choose different jobs and different majors. When they're in school, there are women who choose to major more in the humanities and less in the sciences. When they graduate, when they take jobs, there are more women who choose to work in communications, in the nonprofit world, than in math and science. And women choose to work shorter hours. About 25% of women work part-time, and even when they work full-time, they work 10% fewer hours than full-time men. Why? Because they like to combine their jobs with family.
Well, Diana, when this issue comes up and it's in the political realm, and especially in this midterm year, the Democrats are quick to use things like the Lilly Ledbetter Act and fair pay as campaign issues. And it would seem, if you look at the election results, Republicans have a hard time answering those claims. Is there anything that shows you that could change, and that the differential between the female voters going more for Democrats than Republicans is going to change?
Definitely. Do you know what you call every American who's had her plan canceled, her health plan canceled in 2013? You call them Republican voters in 2014. Women are not happy with what President Obama has done to their health plans and their doctors. And I think this is going to be really the turnaround, with more women voting Republican because they don't like the Affordable Care Act. And women want to work shorter hours frequently. They choose to work part-time. Take a look at the Yale Women's Law website. That's the women of Yale Law School. And every year they pick their 10 best firms for women to work in. Are those the firms with the highest pay? No, they're the firms with the most family-friendly policies. Already, before they've had children, often before they're married, these bright young women think, how am I going to combine work and family? And they want family-flexible jobs. And the jobs pay less, by the way, than inflexible jobs.
Diana, you mentioned the economics of the situation and the political potency of Obamacare and the havoc it has wreaked on so many American families and on purses and pocketbooks, regardless of gender. But is there another argument that Republicans can utilize, the irony that you have single moms as people in the workplace shouldering a tax burden to give entitlements to others? I guess I'm almost asking, is there potency in reversing the redistribution argument so often advanced by the president, where he tries to set up women as victims or people who have been wronged? Is there more to the story that you believe women voters will consider in the midterms and perhaps in the presidential election of 2016?
Well, our polls show that when women get to have the 4 M's, in other words, marriage, munchkins, mortgages, and mutual funds, they vote Republican rather than Democrat. And the more of those M's they have, the more likely they are to vote Republican. So it's very possible that single women might be inclined to vote Democrat but as they get married and they go on in their life cycle, they're more likely to vote Republican.
Hey,
There's also an urban-rural divide.
Well, Diana, that is such a delightful shorthand. Could you repeat that again, please? The 4 M's that motivate
the 4 M's are marriage, that's children, mortgages, and mutual funds. Once they have those 4 M's, they are more likely to vote Republican than Democrat. And this was not my idea. This comes from Kellyanne Conway of the polling company, who you should have on your show if you haven't already.
Well, Kellyanne's an old friend. We'll have her on. We're so happy to have you on, Diana, because you really help complete the picture and show us the rationale to have a reappraisal of the women's vote in the midterms of 2014 and the upcoming presidential election of 2016.
Well, it's an honor to be on your show. It's great to be on your show, and I think that women are going to be voting Republican this year.
And again, the website, economics21.org. That's where our viewers can turn to get your input and insight on the economy there at the Manhattan Institute.
If anybody knows, the economics of the unemployment and the employment numbers, it's Diane Furhtgott-Roth. That's why we have her here on the show. Great to get her on today for this perspective on women and wages. More to come here on America's Forum on Newsmax TV. Here is our social media contact information. Keep sending us your tweets, your emails, and your Facebook posts, and we'll try to get them on the show. We'll be back with more here on America's Forum.
3 a.m.